SummerSlam Night 1 in-arena review of the show. Yes, I was there for both nights. Here's my thoughts of all the matches for night number 1. We started off with Jey Uso and Roman Reigns versus Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. And WWE has a huge asset with Jey Uso to start shows because, man, he gets the people on their feet and they stay on their feet. They love to yeet. And it gets the show going. I mean, Jey Uso got everybody on their feet to start the match, and I cannot say the same thing about night 2 with Rhea, Io, and Naomi. They did not get the whole arena on their feet. Jey Uso does, and it's just so good. I think the match was great to start the show and start SummerSlam as a whole. It was perfect what it needed to be. However, there was at points of the match where I forgot it was a tag team match. I think like 5 minutes in the match, I was like, holy shit, this is a tag team match. Like, I completely forgot. That's all good and dandy for this type of event, this type of match. It was exactly what it needed to be. It gets a thumbs up. It gets a check mark. It gets everything. We then moved on to Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss picking up the tag titles against the Judgment Day, and the crowd was dead. Like, it was noticeably dead, the crowd, compared to the Roman Reigns Jey Uso match. And it was a little surprising for me. And Charlotte Flair did her best. She was trying like crazy to get the crowd into this match. And it worked a little bit. The crowd got more and more into it as the match went on, which was good. Ultimately, I think the winner was correct. I think the booking decision was correct, and Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss picking up the victory. The match was okay. I'm not going to sit here and tell you it was the greatest match of all time. I thought it was okay. The whole point of her kicking Raquel Rodriguez instead of Alexa Bliss is kind of taken away when you're in the arena because you could see Raquel Rodriguez coming from the other side. On TV, you can't see that. So that moment gets taken away a little bit from the arena, but the match probably looked better on television. Ultimately, it was fine, okay? It was fine for what it had to be. Moved on to Sami Zayn, Karrion Kross. I see a lot of hate for this match, and I don't know why people thought this match was going to get a big 20-minute spot. It was 8 minutes. That's what my expectations were for the match. It was going to be short. When have PLEs ever been longer than 3 hours, 3.5 hours? Like, a match had to be short in there, and everyone knew that it was going to be Sami Zayn versus Karrion Kross. I knew the lead pipe was going to be involved. I thought Sami Zayn should have used it. I think it would have been better if Sami Zayn used it. Ultimately, he didn't, and he picks up the victory. Like, what were people expecting? People thought Karrion Kross was going to win this match? Like, there's no way Karrion Kross was going to beat Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn picks up the victory as he should. It should have been with the pipe, but they got the pipe in the storyline. I think it was good. I think it was fine for what the stage and what it had to be. I think this is a good match. We then moved on to Jade Cargill and Tiffany Stratton. In my opinion, I think it was good for the beginning, and something fell off, okay? I don't understand why that match was that short, okay? Jade Cargill kicks out of the first Swanton at one, and then gets pinned by a second one. It didn't really make a lot of sense to me, and they were cooking. The people behind me were like, this is cooking. This is really good. And then I think when it ended, everyone was kind of like, what? It's over already? So a little disappointing from that front. I'm shocked. I mean shocked by Tiffany Stratton picking up the victory. I don't think this is the last time we're going to see these two have a match together. We might see it in Paris, maybe in the pay-per-view after that, because I think we will get Naomi versus Jade Cargill at Perth in Australia, so I think there is going to be more to this. But Tiffany has just not been doing a good job, honestly, and I've heard this on other podcasts where they were like, has this been a good reign? Has she been doing a good job? There's lack of storylines in every feud. There's always seems to be some kind of weird thing that happens in all her matches, and kind of showed me that, yeah, her reign maybe has been a little underwhelming. And I think maybe it might be time to get the title off her. And I don't know if the WWE trusts Jade Cargill enough to do that yet either. So I think WWE might be in a weird position right now. But hopefully we get a good feud moving forward in this storyline. I mean, then move on to the main event of CM Punk versus Gunther, and a guy that's not that much of a fan of Gunther. I thought it was a good match, okay? And I thought Gunther did the best he could. I thought Punk did the best he could. And the match went perfectly how I said in my predictions video. Perfectly. I said that Gunther was going to beat the living hell out of CM Punk, and CM Punk was going to find a way to pull out the victory at the end and win and be so hurt, so defeated that he's got his ass whooped. Right? And it was going to lead to a Seth Rollins cash-in. Now, I didn't predict the whole Willy Wonka moment they did in the beginning with Seth Rollins. But before we get to that, I do want to talk about the Gunther going over the table and bleeding. And on the commentating, you couldn't hear the commentating team in the arena, but to he was bleeding from his forehead. To find out after the fact that it was supposed to be he was bleeding from his nose, and the commentary team was saying that he was bleeding from his nose is kind of laughable to hear that. So I don't know how that came off on television, but that had to be tough to watch or just tough to even understand. But ultimately, Punk gets to win. That's what everyone expected. Somehow, BetOnline had a -140 line on Punk before the match, before the lines closed. I bet that was easy. I had Seth Rollins to cash in at +250. That was easy, and I kept saying the whole time during the match, burn it down, burn it down, burn it down. Finally, after the match, a guy next to me tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Look at the cameraman. He's pointing at the entrance. Something's gonna happen. We might get the cash in. You might be right." And 1 minute later, we hear "burn it down," and Seth Rollins hobbles out there. And it's crazy how they did that because my mom said she saw videos of Seth Rollins. We live around that area, so she saw videos in our area of Seth Rollins visibly using the crutches, walking around town, and with his daughter, with Becky Lynch, and acting like he needed help around town. So Seth Rollins really went balls to the wall with it. He's always got his plan B. He did his plan B and ultimately showed out. And it was a moment that SummerSlam needed, a moment that I knew was going to happen because they're trying to sell this as a 2-night. They're trying to justify that this should be 2 nights, and Seth Rollins steals the show once again, the heist of the summer. I don't want to hear anyone talk about CM Punk's Mr. Money in the Bank, Edge is Mr. Money in the Bank. No. It is now Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins is Mr. Money in the Bank. This is twice now. Twice. He has probably the best 2 cash-ins of all time. When he cashed in at WrestleMania to defeat Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns for the title, and now cashing in to defeat CM Punk to win the title. This is just masterpiece by him. Paul Heyman adds another title to the reign. What happens next for Seth Rollins? Seems like LA Knight's going to be next. We saw it on Monday Night Raw. They had a match. I think we're still going to continue that. We're still going to get a match probably in Paris. Maybe a 6-man tag will happen in Paris. I think the first official feud will be LA Knight, then maybe someone else, and then I think it will accumulate to like a CM Punk or Roman Reigns somewhere down the line at a big show like WrestleMania. So I think there's potential to have the title all the way until then. So that's my Night 1 review. If anything else got something to say, there's also my Night 2 review on the channel, so go check that out. It's probably one of these videos right here, and the playlist has all my SummerSlam WWE videos if you want to go back and see my predictions, what I predicted, because I got a lot of them right. But ultimately, my name's Josh Twisney. If you like the channel, please hit the subscribe button. We're on the way to 500 subscribers. We just got to 250, so let's keep marching.